Hello everybody, it's Zack for another weekly update. A few things today. First of all, as I've been starting each update with, just a reminder, keep doing what you can do to help the people around you. It's important. It's important even as people get mental and physical fatigue. You still try to do what you can, you know? Any little bit of forward movement is a resistance against sliding backward. But yeah, for the meat and the potatoes of the weekly update, videos this week are going to be normal, hopefully. I don't have anything pre-recorded. Usually I have at least one episode of Trails in the Sky pre-recorded, but we'll talk about why I don't. But yeah, everything else should be okay, I guess. We're coming up to the sad part of Final Fantasy VII, or at least the sad part of the Midgar section of Final Fantasy VII, so that's going to be fun this week. We're in Chapter 3 in Trails in the Sky. Really hoping to have regular streams this week, Animal Crossing and Xenoblade. I might do Final Fantasy 4 Job Fiesta, FF5 4 Job Fiesta, which started. I might do that at like random times during the day, maybe like late mornings or something. Depending on whenever I feel like it. I don't want to, like what I used to do in the past is I used to just split up the streams, but I'm not going to be doing that with Animal Crossing because we have a pretty full time with Animal Crossing. And I don't want to do that with Xenoblade because then we're not going to make any progress with the Xenoblade. So I think what we're going to do is I'm just going to stream 4 Job Fiesta at random times. I'll try to announce it at least a little bit in advance, but it might just be like, 1:30 p.m. to 3 or something. Like, it's going to be an hour and a half anyway. It's not going to be long streams. But it's just going to be whenever I kind of want to play it. We're just going to take it more organically. So yeah, I guess look forward to that whenever. I already had my water job, which gave me Monk, which I had in the past. Monk is very good early game, and then it just kind of stinks after that. But what can you do? I've had worse. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so those are videos for this week. Last week we had regular videos, thankfully. We only did Animal Crossing stream, but yeah, we'll talk about that. So yeah. Last week sucked. Last week was a cascade of it would give a series of unfortunate events a run for its money. Started off okay. Sunday was fine. We had someone actually buying the Sodom, the Kazuichi Soda and Gundam Tanaka drawing that I did. Someone actually bought that on Redbubble. Redbubble has still been going strong. I'm very impressed. People are buying a lot of stickers. Let's see. Persona 4 Golden was out on Steam. Chuck Conroy Xenoblade Let's Play Turn 6. Final Fantasy VII Remake got its 5-year anniversary from when it was first announced. Good times. I learned what Homestuck is because that's something that was after my time. Let's see. Put up cursed pictures of Kit Kats. I'll show the art in a little bit, I guess. I did some art for John's stream and other stuff. But yeah, so Sunday and Monday was okay. My dad had been feeling very unwell for the past few weeks. And I say very unwell, and I mean very unwell. for the past few weeks, and we thought that maybe he had coronavirus or he had something else that was going on. But he hasn't been feeling well for a long while. But it finally, on Monday night, over the weekend, he was not doing well at all. And Tuesday, we decided that he was going to go to the doctor and or hospital, because it was just, he was dangerously unwell. So that was our anxiety going into the day. We had a dog that gave birth last week. Our family breeds dogs and sells them as one of our income sources. So we had a dog that gave birth last week, which is high maintenance. We have to watch them, make sure the puppies are okay, because the first week or two, the puppies really need help, just making sure that everything is good. So we haven't been getting much sleep, because we have to keep checking on the dogs and make sure the puppies are nursing. So a second dog gives birth Monday night, Tuesday morning, meaning that my mom doesn't get any sleep. Usually my dad helps out with everything, but since he's unwell, I was the one that was tapped to then help with the birthing. So I was woken up extremely early after going to bed extremely late, so with only a couple hours of sleep, to help with the birthing of the puppies. The puppies were fine, but it was just, when I'm woken up that early after having 2 hours of sleep, it just, the rest of the day I feel like garbage. So that was the start of Tuesday. Then, as we progress into Tuesday, my dad goes to the doctor, and the doctor takes a look at him and says, "I'm sending you straight to the hospital." So so he goes to the hospital. So we're concerned, to say the least. So he's gonna have to stay there overnight. So my mom's taking him to the hospital. The hospital doesn't let my mom stay with him because of coronavirus restrictions. Everyone has to be alone. Thankfully, my dad's coronavirus test eventually came back negative. So my dad is in the hospital. My mom has to take a bag that is packed for him and just take it in and say, "Hey, can you just deliver this to him?" Because she can't even go see him now that he's been admitted to the hospital, to the emergency room. I've been asked not to talk about what exactly was wrong, but it is under control now. But at that point, everyone was like, "Uh-oh." It was really bad, and if he hadn't gone into the hospital at that point, we'd probably be having a different conversation right now. But we did send him to the hospital, and he is doing better, so that's good. But at the time, Tuesday afternoon, we had no idea what was going on. One good thing that happened earlier in the week was that Annalisa asked to leave my town at Animal Crossing, which led to Tuesday's Animal Crossing stream being a villager search, which stopped after the first island where we ran into Anka, which was amazing. The VOD for that is up on my channel, by the way. We also had a special guest island visit for Mom and Ella. We went to Goldenella, and then we went to Jumney's Island, Titty Island. And both were very good. And then we had a nice party back at our place, and we had a lot of internet problems. I kept getting kicked off the islands that I was visiting. And we learned why that. We go to go sleep eventually, and let's see, 1 second, just delete that. So, and Tuesday was also a therapy appointment, which went okay. But I was also supposed to get a call from Social Security to talk about my disability, because I'm on Social Security disability, which is where I get my health care and everything else from. So they had called me the previous week saying, okay, we're going to call you on Tuesday at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. passes, no call. 2:30, no call. 3 o'clock, no call. 3:30, no call. 4, 5, they didn't call. So we were like, oh God, why? They never miss anything. Maybe they meant tomorrow and they didn't call the next day. They didn't call Thursday, they didn't call Friday, they didn't call Saturday. So I'm thinking maybe they accidentally scheduled this Tuesday. But yeah, so they're supposed to like have a little review to make sure that I'm still disabled permanently. Because as we all know, permanent disabilities just kind of go away after a year. My back will just magically put itself back together. The pain goes away. Cancer just disappears. That's not how that works, but they have to check anyway. So yeah, that's the fun thing. So that was another added layer of stress, with not sleeping, looking after the puppies while my mom is driving back and forth from the hospital, my dad being in the hospital, just waiting for this really important phone call that never comes. It's great. I got a email saying that please confirm your email for the Spotify account, which had like a random string of letters and numbers for the username and location in Japan. So I changed the password and I closed it down. It was very strange. Let's see. So yeah, at least the stream went well, aside from getting kicked off of the islands every time I did something. I got a copy of Stardew Valley from John, which I'm very grateful for. I'd like to play that at some point. So yeah. So I go to sleep Tuesday night. Now Wednesday morning is a Pokemon Direct talking about whatever. So I ask my Google to set an alarm for 8:30 or something, early alarms so I could be up in time for it. I wake up and it's 11 a.m. So I say, all right, I guess I was just very tired after yesterday because yesterday was a horrible day. And then I look and we don't have any internet. And it turns out that our Wi-Fi router died overnight, which probably explains why I kept getting kicked off of islands, because my switch goes through the Wi-Fi. Also, my stream died at one point, which my Ethernet cable snakes through the Wi-Fi because it's connected to the modem. It's just how it works. So obviously the machine was having its last gasps over Tuesday afternoon, and finally died Wednesday morning. So we don't have internet in the house. My dad is in the hospital. We're looking after puppies. I missed the Pokemon Direct. Obviously, all equitable bad things. So now, first thing I do is our modem still works, so I can just attach my computer's Ethernet cable to the modem and still get an internet through there. But everyone else in the house doesn't have internet. So now, with my dad in the hospital, getting treated for the stuff that they finally figured out what was wrong with him. Finally, after years, doctors not looking because of one thing that they're like, this is a usual marker for blank, which means that, and it's perfectly normal for you, so let's just not look at any other symptoms. Meanwhile, when my dad told me what was going on, I went onto Google and I typed in, symptom A, B, C, D, and then, the first 20 results were all answer. And I said, well, it's probably this. It looks really much like this. And my dad said, yeah, but, it's weird because, the doctors all say that, this one thing, would be like this. And I said, yeah, but, you have all the symptoms. And then he goes to the hospital, and the hospital's like, oh, you have this. It's so weird. So yeah, we should listen to Dovey more. I don't know. If we had a nickel for every time we heard either this is the first time we've seen that, or the first, or we had a nickel every time that somebody had something and it had all the signs except for a major marker, and they only check the major marker and completely ignore everything else, we would be filthy rich, my family. It's amazing how many times, especially in the last 5 or 6 years, like it's become a family joke, because like we hear it from the banks, we hear it from doctors, we hear it from insurance, we hear it from pest control, like neighbors, everybody has told us, like with all the bizarre things going on, I've never seen that before. And we're like, welcome to our lives. We've had to, like, say to the banks and stuff, like, for all the weird, wacky things, and by wacky, I mean BS stuff that goes on, like, like, they're like, oh, this has never happened before, we don't know what to do, or, like, X person isn't in right now, and they handle it. My dad has to say, alright, so you can't handle this problem that's going to destroy our lives because this person isn't there. If so-and-so drop dead right now, would your bank stop working? If so-and-so from this department were to suddenly drop dead, would it make it so that your bank could no longer function? And then the person would go, no, of course not, because X, Y, and Z, this person would handle their work instead. So put me on with that person. It's like after the person's like, no, we can't take care of this because so-and-so is taking is on his 4th year of his 20-year vacation, and we only handle it through there. If that person were to suddenly drop dead, would your company cease to function? No, of course not. We'd have so-and-so do the job. Put me on with them. If we had a nickel for every time my dad had to say that because people are stupid, we'd be rich. We'd be so rich. Anyway, that was a tangent. But yeah, so Wednesday morning, our Wi-Fi router blows out. So now, with my dad in the hospital and taking care of the puppies and everything else, I have to now go shopping for a new router. The problem is, this is something that's important to... internet is something that's just kind of important. If you don't have internet, your computer's just turned to a slab of meat, or a slab of metal, I guess. The phones still get data, but with the people in the house that have work to do that involve like their email and stuff, that's a problem. So I have to go shopping for routers. So I find a nice router, and Amazon says that it'll be here by Saturday. This is Wednesday. So I said, that's not acceptable, and I can't go out shopping because it's myself, my mom, and my younger brother at home, and I can't go out because I'm high risk, and nobody here wears masks anymore. The coronavirus has been ended. Nobody wears masks. It just seems to be a running theme now. Everyone's decided to stop wearing masks and then yell at people who do wear masks. So I can't go out because I'm high risk. My mom shouldn't go out, but she has to because she's the only other person in this house that can really do anything. But like, now I have to try to find a place where we can reasonably pick up a good router. So I first have to find a good router. Then I have to find a place that has store pickups for the good router. So I find one. And luckily, my older brother, who lives elsewhere, and his family is fine. He's very meticulous with his mask and gloves and everything, so he has not gotten sick. He's very clean with that. So like we let him do grocery shopping for us when we need it. So I find a Best Buy right next to his house that has a good router that I want, and it has store pickup. So I'm like, awesome, store pickup. Order the router, have them do store pickup, and wait for the email saying it's ready to be picked up. And we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and I look, and I take a look again at the the order confirmation email, and it says, yes, we do have curbside pickup at the store. It'll be ready in 1 week. So I'm like, why do you have an option that says that it's in stock, ready to be picked up at the store, and then take 1 week to get there? So I cancel the order. My brother goes to the store, and there's a guy like in front of the store that you can talk to ask, like, if you have the SKU of the item, they can check to see. So I give him the SKU of the router, and he says, oh, there isn't one, we don't have one of these routers within 250 miles of here. So my brother texts me back and says that, and I say, good, okay, cool. So then I, while my brother is waiting there on the line with this guy, I spend the next 3 minutes quickly trying to find another router. And I find another one very fast. They have it in the store. My brother pays for it. I get the money to pay him back. It's $200. We need it ends up being better. So my brother picks it up. He delivers it to us that day, so we get internet back. Pokemon Direct is great. Well, if I remember, we'll talk about it at the end of this video. But I was happy with it at least. Also, Raquel's cat came back. I just want to say I'm happy. Her little Luna, who was out for like 2 weeks, got out of the house. They got her back, so I'm happy. But yeah, so Tuesday is usually my recording day for Trails in the Sky, and I had a video for Tuesday. So Tuesday I couldn't record because it was busy. Wednesday I was just not recording, didn't do a stream because it was just, that day was way too much. But we got the internet back. They figured out what was wrong with my dad. They sent him home on Wednesday. Excuse me. They sent him home on Wednesday because they don't want to keep people in the hospitals too long for a risk of contracting the coronavirus. So, so he comes home. He's doing better now again. But yeah, so that was our Wednesday. So I'm up to here with stress and anxiety over having to deal with this myself because my dad is not in any position to help out with that. So we decided that Wednesday was canceled, and we just skipped to Thursday. Thursday, it was just sleep time. I just relaxed on Thursday. I wasn't doing much. I made some memes. We'll show those off. We'll show the pictures off later. Let's see. There's this meme of blank lasted longer than the Confederacy, which was 5 years, and I determined actually that my cancer lasted longer than the Confederacy. I don't have any statues in my name, but it's just kind of stupid, So let's see. That was about it. So yeah, Thursday we were just trying to recover from the week. Friday was the same thing. So we get to Saturday. So Friday night, my dad says, I think we have a leak somewhere because some of the carpets on the first floor. We have a split level home, so we don't have a basement. We just have a first floor and a second floor. Like I'm on the second floor here. He says on the first floor, the carpet's wet somewhere. So I think maybe the water treatment system or something is leaking a little. So we'll just keep an eye on it. Wake up Saturday morning, and my dad says, it turns out that one of the pipes burst. But the pipe didn't burst on Friday night. No. This pipe had burst on Wednesday or Tuesday. But it was in a location that was like under a crawl space, so it wasn't readily accessible to us, so we couldn't see that it had burst. And we were very preoccupied with my dad being in the hospital and dealing with puppies and everything, so like we weren't using the room that it had burst in, and no one could go in, but it had soaked through the floor there, and the drywall, and the room next door, and a closet, and so the only reason why I didn't flood our lower floor was because it was right where the water comes into the house, and there's like a hole in the floor there that the pipes come through, so it was draining out that way, but it was enough water shooting out that it had spread. So now we have a whole load of ruined drywall and insulation and mold downstairs. So that had been going on for a few days until we stopped it up on Saturday. But that was just the icing on the delicious flambe of this week. I don't know how you put icing on a flambe, but imagine having a flambe, like, a dish that is currently on fire, because that's what a flambe is, and then attempting to put icing on top of it with your bare hands. So yeah. So that was our week. And now we're dealing with water damage and mold, and trying to figure out if it's a good idea to contact the insurance, because this is our new insurance. The last time that we had a huge insurance claim with Hurricane Sandy, our previous insurers kicked us off for claiming damage from a hurricane. So we had to go to this new one after being kicked off, which puts you on a danger list. So if you try to make claims on insurance when you're on the danger list, they could kick you off, and we could lose our homeowners insurance again. So we're going to see about that. Also, my dad made a temporary fix, so we're going to have a plumber come in and take a look at the pipe and try to fix it. And so yeah, that was our week. Dad's in the hospital. The internet and the pipe burst, and just the lack of a important phone call, yeah. So I'm very done with last week. But last week did have its good points. You always have to acknowledge the good things that happen, and that Animal Crossing stream was fantastic. I'm still so happy that Mom and Ella agreed to come on to be like a guest with that. I'm happy to find Anka. It was just like, oh, cool, I don't have to work for this. And yeah, I started up another Twitter art account, which I will not link here. You can find that link elsewhere. It's protected, but you can try to join anyway. But yeah, so that was this week. Outside of it, Pokemon Direct, if you haven't seen it yet, just close your ears for like 30 seconds. Pokemon Snap, they're making another one. I was so happy. I couldn't believe it. I was ecstatic. I've been asking for a new Pokemon Snap for years. It would have been perfect on the Wii U. But years. I've been asking it for years, and they finally did it. Also, the other stuff looked pretty neat. And we're getting another Pokemon Direct, or like little information thing this week. Also, tomorrow they're talking about the new ARMS character, so that's cool. But yeah, so Proton John has been streaming Metroid Other M for game clearing. So at one point you're like going through this whole lava section and it's like rising and stuff, and you don't have your various suit and you die a lot. And then once you get to the top, the person who's in charge of your suit, Adam Malkovich, is like, okay, yeah, you can turn your various suit on now. Like after the point which you actually need it. So I made a visual representation of what that felt like to me. It was essentially, at the end of Terminator 2 where he lowers himself into the molten lead and stuff and kills himself, so it's kind of like that. So that got a laugh. So that was, I did that Monday night, so it was before everything went to hell. First Patreon piece of the month was Deep Sea Tycho, getting a little gut punch. I did it like more of a blocky style, not blocky, like a flat style with like less line work. I thought it looked nice. I just wanted to try something different. I needed to start drawing. I started working on another piece too, but that one has taken a while. It's Chilled Like Ice's birthday, one of Luke Jin's mods, so I drew him in home movies style. That show from Adult Swim way back in the day. And I made a meme on my regular art account. All right. I also drew a nice Vivian picture. I think it's nice anyway. But yeah, Vivian from Paper Mario. I like her. She's neat. So that's on my Adobe Roth art thing. But yeah, so there's this meme going around like this guy in bed and his girlfriend next to him with a giant Mareep, and it's like, yes, me, my girlfriend and her $500 4-foot-tall Mareep plush. So I did a version of that with Proton John and Luca Jin. It's like, yes, me, my wife, and her $500 6-foot-tall Nagito Dakimakura. So that got a good laugh. And there was a contest on Proton John's art server to make a album cover for these like music remixes for his stream stuff. So I didn't win, but I did an entry. And it was like, what do you think of when you hear the opening and closing themes? So I just made like a fancy, not really fancy, I don't know, just like a splash thing. I've been into like the galactic background thing. I've been trying to follow that from Malmakes. Talked about that last week or the week before, but yeah, so I just tried to make like a representation, but it didn't win. I didn't think it would win. But yeah, I made some other stuff this week that I'm not showing you. But yeah, so that was my week. I'm sure other things probably happened this week that I can't remember. But this week is going to be tough too, because we now have to assess the water damage and deal with it. But, alright, and Wonderful 101 Backer Edition came in. It has a cool holographic cover. Yeah, it's very, very three-dimensional. I like it. But yeah, so I'm just very physically and mentally drained. And this week was very hard on our family over here. I appreciate there's a few people that reached out and just tried to see if there's anything they could do to help, and I very much appreciate that. Also, happy birthday, Secret Fury. But yeah, so I'm just very tired. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully this week will be better. I mean, it's going to be very hard for it to be worse. God forbid, knock on wood, that's shalom. It is worse, but it's going to be very hard to be worse than this past week. And we just have to try to do whatever we can to make it better ourselves. But yeah, So I know it like is on top of everything this week. You know, it's one of those weeks that because of anxiety, because of everything going wrong, you're like, okay, well, I really don't feel like I belong here. Like one of the, you know, you're like, okay, so everything's going bad. You know, what did I do wrong? You know, who have I been wronging? Who has been wishing ill upon me that it is coming true? And then you just start doubting, you know, all of your friendship contacts and you know the things that you're doing, and you know, you just decide that you're actually a terrible person and that you don't belong here and that you shouldn't interact with the people around you, and that makes everything worse. But yeah, I'm hoping this week everything will just calm down a little bit. Anyway, I hope your weeks went well. I really do. I don't like people that are like, my week isn't good, so nobody's week should be good. Like, at the very least, like, I can be happy with other people's happiness. Like, I'm perfectly 100% fine doing that. But yeah, so thank you for watching. I'll see you on Tuesday night for Animal Crossing. I don't think we're having any special guests this week, but we do have our usual guests, which are our viewers. And I'm very happy that, in general, people have been coming to the Animal Crossing streams. We have like a usual crowd, which I'm just not used to. And I appreciate that very much. And I hope you all have a good week. Thank you for watching. This has been Zack Rhodes with Weekly Update. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.